Ah, hey there, audit and fraud, friends and family. Listen, I've got a question for you. Ever wonder who actually calls those late night miracle hotlines? You know, the ones promising to solve your problems if you just press one now. Yeah, I never call those either, but the answer to this question might surprise you. Hang on today because this one is, I say this every week now, it's losing its sting, right? This one is real crazy. Are you ready? Let's go.
Welcome to the Friday Fraudster podcast. Join them as they discuss sad, funny, and sometimes disturbing fraud stories. Be sure to catch past episodes on your favorite podcasting platform or go to www.fridayfraudster.com.
All right, so you heard the question that I asked. You ever wondered who's calling those late night hotlines that profess to solve all your problems, make all the pain go away? And Marsha is here. She's saying, hello, everyone. It's nice and windy in Toronto. Hold on to your crown and toupees. Thankfully, I don't have a toupee. Not yet, at least. All right, so look, without further ado, let's bring back the person you've all been waiting for, because no one comes here to see me.
Oh, stop.
What's going on,
This is
Christine?
your podcast. People see the name and they're like, I got to watch Rob today.
Yeah.
And we'll see if Christy shows up.
There's one or two people that might actually say that, one or two people. So, okay, so listen, I've got, I've got a question for you.
I might have an
Every time
answer.
I have a question, I can see the look on your face. It's like, uh-oh, here it is. Seriously though, have you ever gotten one of those late night calls? You know, the ones that just kind of make you shake your head like this. Because let me tell you something. So a buddy of mine, a few weeks ago, he called me and he told me about this prayer hotline where if you call in, they'll pray for prosperity over your life. And he said it was guaranteed blessings. And I thought to myself, okay, so wow. So now God's got a call center, huh? Does he take Visa, MasterCard, or just PayPal? So, okay, so let me just throw this out here for you.
Okay.
Would you ever call one of those hotlines? I mean, even if it's just one time out of just curiosity to see how crazy it could be.
So not like that, but I do remember when I was younger that it was always the psychic hotlines were the big thing.
Yep.
So I think I tried it when I was younger, but I didn't have a credit card, so it didn't go anywhere. They didn't get any money.
There was a lot of those things back in the day, right? Because the singer
yeah.
Dionne Warwick had a hotline. Then there was Miss Cleo, call me now.
Yes, that's the one. But do you think those got bigger because that was right around the time that like QVC became big? Because now you could shop over your TV.
I think that people just like to be sold a dream sometimes. I think people like to feel good. And even if you see red flags in front of you, they still walk down the road because they hold out hope that things aren't what they initially seem. That's what I believe.
Well, I think we all do that. I mean, put a finger down if you've bought a Powerball ticket in the last week.
Oh, I
Do you know
can't say that. You know, I probably should have, though. Did it roll over from Wednesday? Because Wednesday was like what?
I don't know. I went into work, I guess, the day after I bought a ticket. Like, I buy one ticket, and I'm like, oh, yeah, I haven't checked my ticket yet. And they go, nobody won. And I'm like, so, like, when it gets up to that, I think when I bought it was like 1.2 billion.
Okay. Yeah. Bob said he remembers Miss Cleo.
Yes.
Yeah.
Surprised you don't have an old video of her ready to go so everybody could see your reference.
You know what? I'm slacking this week. That's what it is. I am slacking this week. So okay, so here's the thing. I know we laugh about these things, but here's the kicker. What if I told you that there are people who didn't just call these hotlines, but they actually lived in these hotlines, not for like a weekend retreat, but not for months, but for years, because that's where today's story kind of takes us. And trust me, it starts out as a late night joke, but ends in a federal indictment.
Yeah, it's crazy. This was a crazy story.
Wasn't it? Okay,
Mhm.
you know, so I'm just kind of jump right in because here's the setup. Imagine a church with not one, not two, not even three, but 9 call centers across the country, from Florida to Michigan to Texas. And so now here's the question that I have for you, Christine, and everybody else that's listening. If a church is
Mhm.
running that many call centers, what do you think their real business model is?
I'm gonna guess scamming people. um, yeah, I mean, why else? I mean, because you said 5?
9.
9. 9.
Or did I say 5? Wait, let me look at my notes. Was it 9 or 5? It doesn't matter. It was a whole lot. It was 9. 9.
9. I guess I just like it's not like it's 9 church locations. You're talking about 9 different call centers.
Right.
Yeah, Marcia. Yes, not for profit. I mean, but look at a lot of very big churches that are out there and how well the people that run those live. Not passing judgment, but there's money flowing in.
There's 100% money rolling in. So, I think it would be fair to say that they were in the business of fundraising then, right? Even though it wasn't bake sales or, plates, they were fundraisers, right? I mean,
Yeah, I mean, I guess would we like if we think about this, is this like the equivalent to like the ASPCA or like the Wildlife Foundation? I mean, I know theirs is more commercial based, but I mean, I know I haven't reached out or looked at what their financials look like, or I mean, I don't know if they have to get audited because I don't work on that side, but
now Bob is saying that's a lot of hankies. Now, Bob, let me have a talk with Bob, because Bob, are you referring to, so back in the day there was this one church that would sell like purple hankies, and they would sell them for like $100, and yeah, oh yeah, and they were supposed to be like blessed hankies, or
like the ones that the guys put in their jackets.
no, well, no, not really. I'm gonna have to look this up because I remember it vaguely, but I'm wondering if that's what Bob is referring to. Because if he is, that was spot on reference. And Mark said, "Hey, he had to join a tad bit late today, but it's always good to have you, Mark." And his Marsha, she says, "My poor mom used to send money every paycheck to the Oral Roberts. I remember him,
Oh,
and
yeah,
she
yeah,
lived
yeah.
in Jamaica. Yeah, yeah. Oh wow, wow. We got a lot that we could, talk about because there's Tammy Faye Baker and Jim Baker. Remember them when she was
Yeah.
famous for crying and smearing her makeup? Wow. Oh wow, that was interesting. Hmm. Okay, so today though we're not talking about a bake sale again or a pass the plate kind of thing. This was high pressure, unpaid labor cloaked as a spiritual service. And then the people running it, they weren't after prayers, I don't think. They were after power and profit. But let me just back that up. So the organization is called Kingdom of God Global Church. And at the top was a man named David Taylor who called himself an apostle. And he also said that he was Jesus's best friend. Now, his executive assistant was a woman named Michelle Brannon. Last week, a federal grand jury just hit them with a 10-count indictment. I'm not going to spill the beans just yet what the indictment said, but in the DOJ's own words, the defendants used coercion, threats of divine punishment, not just regular punishment, divine punishment, and psychological abuse to compel labor from followers under the guise of religious devotion. So let me ask you, does that sound like faith or does that sound like fraud?
Oh, fraud, 100%.
You didn't even stutter.
Jesus' best friend, first red. Yeah.
Marsha says Jesus' best friend is the first red flag, right?
Well, and I think this is a really touchy subject because so many people do. I am not saying that church is not a great place. I think it is a very good place to connect with community, connect with other people, and get that help that you need. So I know that there are organizations out there that are there for the greater good of community and serving their religion. So
Yeah.
I do understand that. And we always say, no matter what field of work you're in, there's always fraudsters. It's just this was a lot and a long time. And it's more the fraud portion of it. Like you said, manipulation, like mental warfare is what I'm almost reading it. That's what it comes across. Like the amount of abuse that these individuals had to go through was just crazy.
Mental warfare is a good way to put it. You guys wait till we unravel this one. This one is just shocking and surprising. Now, Bob says there was a couple of them. They weren't necessarily pocket squares. I knew I wasn't crazy, but because they would sell these purple rags at exorbitant prices, and they would claim that they were holy rags, and they weren't. I mean, so, but yeah.
Unless they had holes in them. Sorry, I couldn't pass it.
Okay, that was good. That was good. Yeah, unless they have holes in them. So, okay, but look, here's where it gets really chilling. Here's where it gets real chilling. Recruits into this scheme were told that they were serving God's mission. But in reality, here's what they were doing. They were working 12 to 16-hour days in the call centers. They were making these prayer calls. They were interpreting dreams. They were soliciting donations. And what they did was they lived in ministry-run houses, sometimes sleeping on floors. And they couldn't leave without permission. They couldn't eat without permission. They couldn't use the bathroom without permission. One follower texted, and this is from the indictment, "I haven't slept in 48 hours, but if I stop working, I'll disappoint God." So what they did was they made these people think that any sign of failure was a disappointment to God. So imagine that. Exhaustion framed as devotion.
Yeah. It's just sad.
Really crazy. Really, really sad. And then when they missed their fundraising goals, oh man, because they had strict fundraising goals. We're going to talk about that in a minute. They were humiliated in front of other people. Sometimes they were denied food. And sometimes they were told that because they missed the fundraising goal, that they were cursed. In one instance, somebody had a fundraising goal of $147,000 in one day. So let me just ask to anybody listening and to you, Christine, if your boss or leader or whatever told you that God will punish you for not working hard enough, would you walk away or would you stay in that kind of environment?
I'd hit HR's office on the way out.
Christine's like, me stay?
Nope.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
I need that sound effect. Oh goodness, that was funny.
I know you talked about it being 9 locations. Did they say a total of how many individuals that were involved? Like, not the 2 that did it, but that were part of that. I know they mentioned one about 17, but I think that was just one location.
Yeah, you know what? I think they did, but yeah, the 17. Okay, before I answer that question, or as I'm answering that question, the 17 was from one church property in Houston. So they removed 17 people from a former hotel that was set up to be used as a Bible school in Houston. As far as the total amount, I think it's in there somewhere, and I just can't remember right now.
And we haven't even talked about the span of time and how much money yet.
Yeah, we hadn't even gotten there yet. Now, Marsha says the church is now a big money-making entity and manipulating the members for profit, and then the leaders live lavish. Yep, and the poor church folk can't pay rent or buy food. And to the question that I asked, would you stay or would you go? Marsha said, I would run real fast. Yep, I'm with you on that because that's just a huge red flag, if any. Okay.
So, no, I would. Yeah, I would. I've done it for less.
Right? Right.
I probably shouldn't.
Right. Now, of course, we know this wasn't about saving souls, right? It was about stacking cash. Since 2014, to the point you were just making, Christine, since 2014, this operation raked in around $50 million. Now, let me ask another question.
Okay.
If you donated money to a church, where would you expect it to go? Feeding the poor, to building a school, to supporting missions? Where would you expect that money to logically go?
Exactly what you said. Or I could even see it going for upkeep of the church itself. Like some of those funds need to be used for that. So, but yeah, I mean, even if they're like, we're using the money to send 15 of our youth kids to a mission trip. Okay, I can see that happening too.
Yeah, that makes sense. You expect the money to be spent, well, on things to benefit the church and the church as a whole, not just one individual person or, one individual family or anything like that. You'd expect it to benefit the entire church. Well, I would love to say that is what happened here, but
nope,
that's just not what happened. In this case, it went to luxury homes, expensive cars, laundering money through real estate. As a matter of fact, IRS Special Agent Karen Wingard said that money laundering is tax evasion in progress. And here, the proceeds funded an alleged human trafficking ring under the cover of a church. Because think about this now. So a hotline for blessings became a cash machine for abuse because they made these people work 12 to 16-hour days without pay. I didn't mention that part yet. These people weren't getting paid to do this job, and they were being housed on church property, and they were being fed whatever the church decided to feed them, but they were not making a salary. And they had these aggressive sales goals, but they weren't getting paid.
Long hours. What was one of the text messages? Essentially threatening them that they were going to be put back on a peanut butter and jelly regimen if they didn't meet certain goals.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
Or another text message is, you're only at 6K in 2 hours. I will take your food away. You guys will have to fast and pray.
Yep. So imagine that now. Marsha's saying she would love to see me auditing that church. Woo.
Well, and you did see the monetary transactions were described in a subparagraph, right?
Oh yeah, we're about to get to that. We've got we've got well, let's see. Well, first let's see if this is the one that you are talking about in the indictment. I mean this.
I'm waiting for it to pop up. My computer's been a little slow.
So
where it has the item transaction amount.
Yeah. So here's some items that they purchased along with the transaction amount and the date. One was a Mercedes-Benz, $63,000. Another one was a $70,000 down payment on a Bentley Continental. Another one was a Crown Line boat at $105,000. Now these happened in 2018 and 2019. In 2020, there was another $15,000 down payment on a Bentley Continental. How many Bentleys do you need? And then another $50,000 down payment on a Bentley Mulsanne. And then 3 more Mercedes-Benz, $14,000, $13,000, $12,000. Then they got not 1, not 2, but 5 ATVs at $31,000. 2 jet skis and 1 jet ski trailer for $24,000. 2 more jet skis, because 2 is not enough. You got to have 4, right? It ain't no fun if you can't bring the whole family along, right? And
Right.
then 125 pounds of super colossal red king crab legs, 6 seafood shears, and 30 crab cutters at a cost of $10,000. But then this is where this one gets real odd. This next one's going to blow your mind if you're not reading it on the screen and looking at it. A Rolls Royce, $123,000, and that was the lease signing payment. Not the whole car, because Rolls Royces cost a whole lot more than that, but not the whole car. That was the lease signing payment. And then I guess this was in 2024, and I guess this is maybe when things started to get a little shaky for them, because in 2024, they had payments for Bulletproof Automotive. 33,000, 32,000, 37,000, and then in 2025, February of this year, $18,000. So they had 4 rounds of Bulletproof Automotive.
Which it looks like they do customization on vehicles. That Bulletproof Automotive. But I'm just sitting here going, they have purchased or put down payments on more vehicles in 3 years than I have ever owned since I was 16.
Bingo.
Like, that's just crazy to me.
Bob says extended arts and craft time.
And that Rolls Royce, man, it's got an MSRP base cost of $405,000.
Yep.
That is crazy.
Isn't it? Isn't it? Now, okay, here's the thing now. Bonita, her mind is blown. She's like,
I know.
and I get it. But here's the thing. So you might be wondering, why in the world does anyone fall for this? So let's talk about this for a minute. Because first, they use charismatic leadership. You see, David Taylor claimed that he met with God face to face. He told followers that he held the quote unquote keys to the kingdom of earth. That's that's interesting.
Yep.
Next, he used coercive control. He cut off their sleep. He cut off their food. He cut off their outside contact with others. And see, that helps you to break people down. Then he used fear and guilt. The fear of divine punishment is what kept a lot of people trapped. So here's what I'm thinking. So, Christine, do you think intelligence protects people from being manipulated like this, or could anyone be pulled in given the right circumstances?
Oh, I think anybody could. I know I do every once in a while. I mean,
Yeah.
like sometimes when I go to busier cities, have I given somebody that was homeless money on the street? Yeah, I've done it. I mean, that's completely different than this. But I know it just brings me back to the one time I did do it when I had visited Boston, and this individual was like, they were needing some milk for their children. So I said, well, come into the store with me. So I go into the store and I ended up picking up a couple extra items. We went through the checkout, and the checkout lady goes, she does this to everybody like 10 times a day, right? So did I finish the transaction? Because I was like, yeah, it's fine. It's making me feel good. So I think that is what that is. It's everybody's looking for something. So I think we all could.
Okay, that's a good point. I can see that, because as I asked the question, I was thinking about it myself, and I was like, sure, anybody could fall for this, right? No matter how intelligent you think you are. Recent psychological studies are telling us that 95% of our decision making is from our subconscious, right? So they've been studying this for long enough. It's just sad, right? Really sad. Now, you asked earlier about the properties. So here they are, one in Taylor, Michigan, two in Chesterfield, Missouri. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, and then one in Eureka, Missouri. Oh, there's a third one in Chesterfield, Missouri. There's another one in Wildwood, Missouri. There's one in Tampa, Florida, one in Ocala, Florida, and then one in Houston, Texas. Now, let's talk about the one in Tampa, though, because they named the neighborhood. So I was able to look it up, and I was like, whoa, the Avila neighborhood. Here is Realtor.com with homes for sale, $5.3 million, $3.3 million, $3.7 million, 6 bedrooms, 7.5 bath, 6,800 square foot home, 7,000 square foot home. So they had a lot of properties for these people. Well, no, I'm sorry. They had a lot of properties that they trapped these people in and held them captive in. Let me rephrase what I was saying.
I didn't even think about looking them up, but I'm telling you this right now. So glad we got Google Maps.
Right? Now, Shri is saying, why in the world does Houston have to be in the mix? Because Houston is always in the mix. I mean, what? It's the 4th largest city in the nation, right? Mark says, I think they prey on those that are struggling with emotional issues and loss. Instead of praying for them, they are preying on them, right? Right? It's a, yeah. That is wild. So yeah, that's one of the neighborhoods where they had homes.
Yeah. I agree with Mark 100%.
Yep.
Sometimes it's hard for us to have logic over our emotions.
Yeah.
And I think us being as you know, we've got technology and now we can do everything now. Sometimes I don't think we slow down enough and just think for a second before doing something.
And when you're dealing with manipulative people, it's hard to slow down because they come at you so fast with their demands and they stop you from thinking. That's actually a part of their manipulation tactic. Because if you think about it, he hit the trifecta of things. He removed them from other people, outside influences. He removed them from their home, their surroundings. Then he also removed them from their homes. I'm sorry, he took food away from them. Sorry, I said homes. He took food away from them. So he deprived them of sleep, food, and familiarity.
Yeah.
And essentially, all they had left to lean on was him.
I mean, because it makes me wonder. I know that like they would call people and ask. They never really got into how these individuals got entrapped, right? Or did I miss that? Oh, jeez.
I didn't see that explained in detail.
Did I freeze or did Rob freeze?
Okay, so
did I freeze?
Yeah, it was me. So Bob just pointed out that 5 of the homes were in the St. Louis area. And I don't know if Bob was joking about this or if he looked it up. He said, they bought Nelly's mansion and used it as a call center. I don't know if you guys remember Nelly, the rapper from back in the day, Country Grammar. But I don't know if Bob was joking on that or if Bob was for real. Yeah, it was me, B.
Yes, thank you guys. I always just feel like it's me.
Now, Marsha brings up another point because I didn't see this anywhere in any of the documents. Marsha said he must have given them some serious drugs. I didn't see anything about drug usage, but I was wondering about that myself. Oh, and Bob says he wasn't kidding. They did buy Nellie's old home
He
and use
did.
it as one of the call centers. God.
That is
Oh,
crazy.
oh, wow.
Do you want to know what's even crazier? Thank you, Bob, for, by the way, for that Google search. It was the home that he used when MTV Cribs went through it.
Of course it was. Yeah, of course it was. Wow. I wonder if
Yeah.
he was a sucker for cornrows and manicured toes. I'm sorry.
Oh, I just can't believe that. That was a really weird twist. Thank you for that, Bob.
Oh, wow. Now, Shri is saying he must have held something more valuable over their heads to keep them quiet. I don't know, right? That's what I would think too. But Shri, you hidden my thought too. But we've seen people do crazier things for less or for nothing, right? So
Yeah, so I just didn't know, like, because you hit a really good point. It's that separation, getting
yes,
people to feel like they don't have any other place to go until that. So I'm just sitting here going, well, they're not in every single state. Are they just focusing on people from Missouri? Are they bringing people in from different states? Because now you're separating them from the people that they know and you can control the communication. Or is it more of like they are actively trying to get people to come and work for the church? And then it's just a gradual integration where they're gradually pulling things back and away from them to gain control and gradually move them away from their family.
yeah, yeah. Because if you think about it, this happens in all types of relationships, right? If you think about it in an employment standpoint, employers will send you off traveling so much that you can't focus on your family or anything else, just to work. Or you have a toxic significant other who all of a sudden they say, I don't like your family, so we're never going to visit them again. And then what they're doing is trying to separate you from your family and other people that you know. Like they start saying friends that they meet of yours. I don't like that friend of yours.
Yep.
Employers do it. People in relationships do it. People in friendships do it. So I think this runs the gamut of various types of relationships.
Oh yeah. And I'm just guessing either these two individuals are really good at it or they had people that were really good at it.
Yeah.
Didn't they have like a boot camp?
Ooh, now Mark is hitting it. Mark is like, what did Mark say? Hold on, let me get back to this. I don't think you need anything more when they have been disengaged, not fed, not well rested. All of that creates Stockholm syndrome. It sure does. And then Marsha hits another one too. Sounds almost like slavery all over again, or David Koresh. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that was a crazy documentary.
Yep. David Koresh. Now, law enforcement comes in, right? And they start investigating this thing. And so if you think about it, this thing didn't just blow up overnight. It took years. And so the FBI and IRS agents eventually they raided that church property in Houston and freed those 17 people we talked about earlier, but they also raided that mansion in Tampa that was tied to the church. And then that's when the charges.
That is when the charges kind of started coming down, is what I'm guessing Rob is trying to say. I'm trying to find where he was at.
As religion.
Are you back? To add on to that, they did actually. Are you there now, Rob?
Yeah, I'm here. You can just keep going. They still hear you and everything. I just freeze and then come back.
Yes. Look at Shree's comment. Hurry. And then every time I try to recover, like as soon as I'm like, all right, I'll kind of try starting talking about that, then you unfreeze and then freeze again.
He said right when Rob was about to drop the juicy facts, he freeze.
Yep.
Okay, wait. What juicy fact was I about to drop? What did I say? Mark said, did you pay your internet bill? Oh, man. This,
Oh, Vanita.
this is This is a day where it's just roast us day, right? Because
Well, and we talk about this when I come on because sometimes I don't see you and I know my internet's lagging, which I'm updating on Monday. But just it's crazy that it's you today.
you know what's funny? So I just had a virtual training this morning, and everything was fine. And we were joking that something, was gonna blow up later on today because I told them I was like, I got a podcast later on in the day, and yeah, that is, you know.
Yeah, so you're gonna have to repeat what you were saying as part of that. So you left off that the law enforcement finally came in after they went to the location out of Florida.
Okay. So yeah, so they also raided the mansion in Tampa that belonged to the church. Um, Taylor was arrested in North Carolina. Brannon was arrested in Tampa. And so, according to law enforcement, they're saying it was a nationwide takedown, and the prosecutors are calling it modern day forced labor scheme dressed up as religion.
So I'm going to go ahead and agree with, I got to find out who said
it. Bonita, I'm not sure if Kmart still exists. They've been going out of business for quite some time. There may be one store left somewhere in the nation.
So I agree with Marsha. This is slavery. Why can't we just call it that?
Yeah. Well, because forced labor sounds so politically correct. But yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Slavery.
100% what it is. Now, Mark is saying, no, Kmart is gone. Okay. I thought they were gone because they merged with Sears at some point and all this other stuff. Now, Shri is saying, if you think about it, religion is $1 trillion business. Someone is always trying to get into it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wait, now Shri says, does making your kids clean their room and do their chores, is that forced labor?
No, I always joke around with my kids because, like, I'll be like, just FYI, this isn't child labor because this is a household operation and you can work for your parents. And it doesn't count as child labor laws.
That's a good point. That's a good point. So, okay, so look, so all in all, though, where does this leave us? Because, okay.
Where does this leave us?
Yeah, because, okay, here's where I'm going with it. On one hand, the U.S. protects freedom of religion, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is a little controversial, but okay. And that's important. But on the other hand, we've got to recognize when faith is being used as a weapon, because there were a lot of red flags here. They're not just churches nowadays, they're workplaces, they're relationships, they're even into politics, even though they aren't supposed to be, but you know that they really are, right? And so when someone demands absolute loyalty, or when transparency disappears, or when questioning authority means punishment, divine punishment at that, I think that's when trust turns toxic. So here's the thing. Okay, we've been talking about some of this throughout, but what red flags do you look for in groups that you're a part of, whether it's a church or a company or a friend circle? We touched on a lot of them here, but let's just kind of, summarize and bring it home. What kind of red flags would you look for?
I'm probably not the person to ask because I'm not like, yes, I serve on a youth organization, like, but that's for us to raise money for something. Otherwise, I'm not really a part of I'm not a part of a religious organization or any type of, I'm not like part of a sorority from college or anything like that. I guess I keep my circle small.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's advice. What do you do?
Ooh. So now Marsha says when the pastors don't encourage marriage and want single people to remain separate and true to the pastor. Whoa, now that's a huge red flag. Mark says no board overseeing operations. Yes, Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I didn't even think about answering the way that Mark did. So that was a really good, that's not the way I was taking the question. So thank you for that, Mark. And Marcia for your feedback on that. I was thinking of more of me personally joining something. But yeah, no, definitely. We have that here. Are you laughing at me?
No, I'm laughing at me because I keep freezing and it's weird.
I did recover from that one pretty well. I was giving Mark and Marcia credit, because I was saying I didn't take your question that way. I was taking the question like when I want to join, or like from a personality perspective, not from like a board oversight organization. I didn't take it into that context.
Yeah. Well, and
Yeah.
I think that's the thing. It can be taken multiple ways, right? Mark says put another dime in the slot for the internet. Oh, Bonita says letting people be hangry. Yeah.
Yeah, for me to join an organization, even the one that I serve on now, it takes a lot for me because if I'm going to do that, I'm committing to it. So I do have that. I kind of feel people out and see even if my personality will click. Like that's how I'm just like, will I fit in?
Yeah, yeah. Now Mark says that what he was saying applies to joining too. So yeah, so I think there are a couple things, right? I think on the management side, does one person have complete authority? You know, whether that's a church or a business, because we all know businesses might have a CEO, but the CEO reports to a board, which is a group of people. In a
Right.
church, the pastor typically reports to a board. If the pastor has the ultimate authority for everything, you might want to look out. So, what is the organizational structure like? How many people are on the payroll and what do they do? For example, if you're in a church and everybody that's making decisions is a part of one family, ooh, that might be an issue. I mean, in a business, that's called a privately held organization. That family has a lot of control, but they also have a lot of skin in the game. In a church, if you have that kind of control, you don't necessarily have a lot of skin in the game from a monetary standpoint. So that could be a little interesting, right?
Well, I didn't even say, nobody's ever asked me what our structure is for our youth organization and what we do for controls and cash and balancing and who can do what.
Ooh, but they should though, shouldn't they?
There's probably 5 people that know. Now,
Ah,
of course, I mean, I don't want to get in trouble, so I do it for a CYA.
mhm.
As far as that. But yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't
Yeah.
even thought about that.
And I would say if you're in an organization or a part of anything where people try to alienate you, that's a huge red flag. That's a huge issue. Why are they trying to alienate you from the people who supposedly care about you? What are some of the things that they are saying about those people? Are they trying to steer you only towards people that agree with them? You know, one big red flag for me is people who, when you disagree with them, you are automatically the enemy. Because I'm a firm believer that disagreement doesn't equate to hate. That doesn't mean I hate you if I disagree with you. We can talk about the thing that we disagree with, but there are some people, the minute you disagree with them, you are labeled, you're a bad person, you're horrible, you're this, you're that. Those people are huge red flags. Now, Mark is saying that he was on a rescue mission board and it was one of the best run operations he'd ever seen in his life. Yeah, there you go. Oh,
Oh,
this.
power of
Huh.
attorney.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, I had Marsha said another red flag is if the church pastor is the power of attorney for older rich folk in the church. Oh, you know what? That's like a huge sea of red flags.
Well, and if a lot of their mail and stuff, especially if you work for a financial institution. So if you guys, anybody listening is doing auditing or QC or all that other stuff, BSA, elder abuse, if you are able to do a scan on your systems to see how many accounts have the same mailing address, not physical,
Yep.
mailing address, because even if they have it all going to those PO boxes, that could be something that is done, and you are required to file for elder abuse, suspected elder abuse.
Yep. And don't banking systems now allow you to track power of attorney too?
It depends. Depends on what core system you're on. Sometimes there's like add-ons that you have to do. But I would sit here and think if you had that situation, more than likely, if it's a local church, somebody that possibly works there would know the pastor just by having those transactions constantly. And then I would sit there and think it would be a potential unusual activity flag that should be submitted. So if you don't have the systems doing it, then you would be relying on manual processes for recognition.
Ah, okay.
I know I threw out a lot
So
there.
now Mark brings up another one. Percentage of donations going to administrative fees and not to the mission of the organization. And he's saying for him, if it's more than 10%, goodbye. There used to be a way that you could track that. I think there's oh yeah, there's a website called Charity Navigator. But hold on, you know what I didn't do? I should try and look this one up. Since it's a church, it may not be there. But let's see. Oh wow, it is there. Oh, but it's not rated. Darn. So let me pull this up so you guys can see what I'm talking about and looking at. So this site, Charity Navigator, you look at the calls and people will rate it. There's a donate button right there. Oh wow.
Oh, really?
That is very interesting. Huh. Very, very interesting. But you can search for charities. Let's see. Here's one, immigration support in the United States. That just happened to pop up. Let's see. Oh, these are the charitable donations. Okay, so this isn't one that lets you actually see the financials and how much money is going to administrative versus the actual cause. But there are some websites that will show you how much money, what percentage is going to administrative fees versus how much is actually going to the mission that the charity is designed to serve. I just can't think of one of them right now.
Yeah.
Bonita is mystified. There's a whole lot of emojis going on here. She's just like, whoa.
Emotional roller coaster today.
Isn't it? It's just really insane. Okay, so look, we started the day laughing a little bit, talking about miracle hotlines. And then we kind of ended with a story of people trapped, abused, and exploited. So yeah, to Christine's point, emotional roller coaster. And all this was happening while the leaders lived in luxury. So for me, the lesson is kind of simple. Whenever someone promises you blessings but demands unquestioned loyalty or money or labor in return, that ain't faith. That's a scam. Run fast. Run fast.
Yeah. No, I mean, like I said, I just feel bad for the victims. We didn't talk about their charges or how long they could be potentially facing. There is one I'm actually surprised that they weren't charged with, because what do we see every single time we read one of these stories?
It's always wire fraud, right?
Not on this one.
Right. I'm guessing because they got them on some other things. Okay, so let's talk about the charges. The main charge is forced labor. So allegedly coercing followers to work in the call centers without pay. And they were saying psychological abuse, threats of divine punishment. We talked about that. The next one is conspiracy to commit forced labor. So working together to plan out this whole thing. Another main charge was conspiracy to commit money laundering. So moving and disguising millions of dollars raised through the scheme, and then also allegedly right, this is still an indictment. Allegedly using the proceeds to buy luxury homes, cars, boats, ATVs, etc. So let's talk about the scale of it again. Again, 9 prayer call centers in Michigan, Missouri, Florida, and Texas generated about $50 million since 2014. They control the followers through housing and meals, etc. So those were the primary charges.
I'm going to see if I can find. As I'm sitting here, and I made a note that I need to start watching Righteous Gemstones now again.
Yeah.
I started to.
So the forced labor, maximum punishment is up to 20 years in federal prison per count. Now, this can increase to life in prison if the offense involves death, kidnapping, aggravated sexual abuse, attempts to kill, or serious bodily harm. Now, the conspiracy to commit forced labor is the same, but it's up to 20 years per count. I said that with the last one. The conspiracy to commit money laundering is up to 20 years in federal prison with fines up to $500,000 or twice the value of laundered funds, whichever is greater. So if we're saying $50 million, twice the value of that's $100 million. So,
yeah, my AI was telling me could face up to 60 years, but I think it all depends on how many of those counts they don't drop. The maximum penalty for his specific charges is for 20 years for each offense.
Yeah, they're looking at potentially decades behind bars.
Yeah, and it says it was his executive assistant, right? Is facing similar charges or faces similar potential penalties.
Yep. That is insane. Oh, Bob is saying ECFA. Is that one of the oh wow. So wait, they were members of ECFA. That's a growing community of church leaders committed to upholding the highest standards of integrity. Were they a member of this, Bob? Is that what you were saying? Oh boy. Hold on. Let's see. You can find a member. Let's see if they were. Find a member.
Oh man, I found posts of his videos.
Oh. Well, Mark is saying no accounting and auditing practices. Oh, Marcia said Diddy is child's play compared to this.
Well, the thing, but here, we sit here and we talk about that mental tie to this, right? 31 minutes ago, somebody tagged him on a Facebook post. The accusations against you will never be able to stop the power of the Lion and of Judah within you.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Maybe they hadn't read the indictment because, let's see, some of these text messages are crazy. So, okay, I already talked about the one where he said that 164,000 needs to be raised today. You talked about the peanut butter and jelly regimen. Okay, so in another one, he was saying that those in the top 9 that don't do well will stay up and close and stay on top of the delinquents. Put pressure on them, not having their time off, nor food, they will fast. Then in another one, he said to somebody, how is it in 5 hours you'll have raised only 6K? You mentioned that one earlier, Christine. Let's
Yeah.
see. Then in another one, he said, let everyone know we have to raise at least 50K by 12 midnight. If this happens, the top 9 and those who did well can rest, but the others who didn't will stay up until 4 a.m. and study notes, and they will wake at 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. If they don't do good the first 5 hours, 9 to 2 p.m., man, this is a lot of run-on sentences. They will not get lunch, and for dinner, they will only have soup and salad and water.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. And another one, he said, pour water on everyone's faces that's halfway sleeping and not working. Wake them up now. So pour water on everyone's faces that's halfway sleeping and not working. Wake them up now. My next level of judgment tomorrow is that it won't be just 4 a.m. It will be every hour you waste in the day will be added on past 4 a.m. Tell them all to stand now and you throw water on their faces, especially the people not doing anything or helping bring in money. You tell them I don't care about them being sick. Wow.
There's a woman who says that she wrote a book about this and she's been trying to get him called out. And she's finally
Whoa.
happy to see it. Yeah. All you have is a voice, free from a hidden cult.
Wow. And then here's the boot camp you were talking about. He said Military Boot Camp 5, Taylor, is what he called it.
And she dated him.
Ooh.
I think we found a new book.
Ooh.
All you
Ooh.
have is a voice, free from a hidden cult. Vicky Yohe, Yohe.
Free
4.5
from.
star rating out of 22 ratings.
Oh, wow. I see her. I don't see it on Amazon, though, but I see it on Goodreads.
And this was released back in 2020.
There it is.
We're making Benita go up and down again.
And this is, and then, and I think she may be selling this herself because this is a Shopify.
Oh, it includes 3 courageous women who tell their stories of how they were abused by him, too.
Oh, wow. Okay, so that's Goodreads. So let's go back here. Interesting. Oh, she was a recording artist. It says, really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it says for well over a year, gospel recording artist says she was involved in what she described as a dangerous cult experience. She released a video in 2018 where she admitted to being involved in a sinful relationship with a preacher who oversees an international ministry. Since that time, she, along with several other women, have come forward on social media and other venues to share their stories of what they call manipulation, fraud, and abuse of power, but also of hope and healing for all those who have been victimized by this ministry as well as by others. You all have a voice. Is this the right person? This is her?
Yep.
Oh,
I got
wow.
pictures of them together on Facebook.
Wait a minute. Show it. You can share your screen. Show it.
Oh, let me pull it over.
Oh, wow.
Can I?
Mark says they have to tell you when you ask, too. Oh, wow.
There we go.
Interesting. Very, very interesting.
There they are.
Oh, wow.
And this is her Facebook. August 27th. Yes, that is him.
Wow.
This is a gentleman who had an interaction with him and was essentially like, nope, this isn't God. I declined an invitation from him.
Okay.
I don't want to, I won't go up any further, only because the individuals that are above that are people that are supporting him, and I don't want to share that.
Gotcha. Yeah. Holy.
Yeah.
That is insane.
I am not going to dox anybody today.
Whoa. Okay. So I think we did a good job of talking about this case, unraveling it,
It just kept going.
lessons learned. Yeah, it just kept going and going and going.
So if everybody stuck around for the last 10 minutes, it really got good.
Man, that was wild. I completely missed that altogether.
I didn't get in far enough to research that. Because normally I don't find as much stuff on Facebook anymore. People don't go on it. A lot of it's locked down. So more or less, when we search for somebody's name, it is a lot of posting of the article, people giving their feedback of what happened, especially if they're in the community and stuff. So.
Yeah, that is insane. So, all right. Thank you for joining us this week on the Friday Fraudster. That's all we've got for this week, folks. If you like this podcast, tell your friends. They can catch us on LinkedIn and YouTube, favorite podcasting platforms. We'll see you next week.
Bye.